and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another evening live stream, back with a 7:30 p.m. live stream, and back with two different things to talk about. The Manchester United match today. Manchester United did in fact play a pre-season friendly versus Burnley, in which they won 3-1. We will be talking about the game. I'll be telling you everything that's happened that you missed, who performed well, and all of that, what the match reports say, who scored the goals and that. Well, we're reviewing the Manchester United Burnley game, giving my thoughts on that, but we'll also be talking a little bit about Manchester United transfer news. What's the latest transfer news surrounding Manchester United and more? So make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not, share the video, subscribe, keep hitting that like button. Let's go for 100 likes before the end of the live stream. Nick here with the early comments saying Ahmad and Williams both off on loan, and Lingard and set to leave along with Pereira. We will be talking about these four possible outs. We will be talking about possible ins regarding Camavinga and Neves. But I think before I even get into transfer news, I think I do want to talk about the Manchester United Burnley game. We won that 3-1. It was a behind closed doors friendly. I think that's what I want to talk about first. But thanks everyone for getting into the live chat. Any questions you have for me, please do pop them down below in the live chat. Hit that like button, subscribe down below, and share. Ollie at the wheel, and is Brandon going on loan to Norwich? It's looking very, very likely that Brandon Williams will in fact be going on loan to Norwich. Why play a pre-season friendly game after the season has started? Because our pre-season friendly game versus Preston got cancelled, and we didn't play that many pre-season friendly games with the full squad back because of the Euro. So I think it's understandable. My only situation is Fred and McTominay didn't start the pre-season friendly game where Donny and Matic did. So I'm thinking if Donny and Matic start this pre-season friendly game, will they be involved at the weekend? You never know with Ollie. A lot of the players that started, I don't think will be involved at the weekend. Reese says, evening from Mauritius. I like your program. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Reese. And Narcane says, well done for being on Spice's channel last night. Enjoyed it. Yeah, go check out Spice, the Red United TV after this video. I was on their channel last time. And Fabrizio Romano out in the chat, early in the chat, saying Ahmed and Brandon are going on loan. Big up Fabrizio Romano and all of that. Andres Pereira is very likely to go out on loan or go to Flamengo and all of that. And Andrew, just talking about Axel Twin Xavier that went out on loan to Villa, said he never liked the Axel to Villa idea. He won't be a regular, preferred Newcastle arena with Steve Bruce for him. Yeah, I understand that, to be fair. You know, you've got Konza and Mings ahead of him at Villa as well. And one more comment saying, Maximus says, do you think we might buy Kane next season? Because they're saying their market plans for him. I think if Kane doesn't go to Manchester City this summer, there's a chance we could get him if Man City got Haaland. But sure, I do think United will be in for a striker next summer. And been said that Williams could make his Norwich debut next Tuesday night in the EFL Cup. That would be very, very interesting. And is Camavinga coming? Well, that is exactly what we're going to talk about. But first things first, let's talk about the pre-season friendly. So United had a behind closed door pre-season friendly match versus Burnley. Fred Maguire, but apparently was tapped in by Martial. So Martial now has the goal, and Lingard scored. They won 3-1. In the pre-season friendly. Now, the starting 11 Manchester United played for the pre-season friendly was Heaton in goal, Dalot right back, Bailly Maguire centre backs, Williams left back, Matic and Van der Beek in the pivot, Lingard cams, Mata on the right, Sancho on the left, and Martial up top. So it's basically a rotated team apart from Maguire for the team that played versus Leeds. I think it's getting those players that didn't play versus Leeds a few more minutes in. The subs bench included Lindelof, Phil Jones, Paul Pogba, Greenwood, Fred Fernandez, James Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Garner, Hannibal, and Kovar. Now, in terms of what happened, Lindelof and Fred came off the bench at half-time for United. Lindelof came on for Maguire. I think Fred came on for Matic. They come off at the bench at half-time. And Phil Jones also came on at the hour mark. Phil Jones played some minutes. Paul Pogba, Mason Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes, Daniel James, Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, James Garner, and Hannibal Mejbri were all introduced into the second half. Now, I went onto the Burnley website because the Burnley website actually offered a report on the game, and they said, however, the lead lasted less than 5 minutes because Maguire's header from a Wan-Mata corner flew in via Martial touch. So Martial got a goal, and Martial actually got assist as well. It looks like Martial played really well. Mata corner hit Maguire's head. Martial got a touch in it. And then after 20 minutes after that, United went quickly ahead against Burnley when Martial Jesse Lingard teed up a ball from Martial. So first goal was Maguire header, Martial gets it in. Second goal, Martial assisted Jesse Lingard. And the third goal was scored by Fred. It hit the inside of the post before bouncing off the back of the substitute keeper and all of that. You know, the Burnley website offered a review on the game. They said that, you know, Burnley were under pressure. You know, Lingard and Martial created a lot of chances. That United made 8 substitute changes. And inevitably, you know, Greenwood had a good shot that was saved. They mentioned that. So Greenwood looked well. Fernandes and Greenwood were denied by good saves for the goalie keeper. So on top of their goals, you know, Greenwood and Fernandes came close from scoring, and that was offered by in the Burnley report. Burnley website actually did a good report on the game. So if you couldn't watch the game, obviously no one could watch the game. It's a good report. And Nick says 2-2 for Fred. 2-2 for Fred. It was 2-2 for Fred, and 2-2 in terms of 2 friendly games. Wouldn't be for Maguire header, but 2-2 for Fred. A goal and assist for Martial, and you know, it's all about getting minutes in these preseason friendly games. It's all about getting minutes in. I'm sorry if my screen is lagging, by the way, guys. Is my screen lagging? Let me know if there's any problems with the screen, and let me know if the stream is lagging. Sorry. Please do hit that like button if you're new to the channel and you haven't already. Please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football, because we're going to talk a little bit about transfer news. I've talked about the game. I do want to get into the transfer news, what's going on, what's happening, bada bing, bada boom. So what have I got written down? So it looks like Jesse Lingard will leave. Now, what's been said from Fabrizio Romano is if Jesse Lingard does leave, Manchester United would like to get a midfielder, but Manchester United getting a midfielder depends on Jesse Lingard leaving. Now, it's looking more and more likely that Jesse Lingard will leave, which means we'll have the funds to make our 3rd signing this summer. Now, who will that 3rd signing be? Pardon me. Will it be Ruben Neves? It's likely, but 35 million, will he stay at Wolves? Could that 3rd signing be Camavinga? 100% that signing could be Camavinga if he chooses to come to us. Now, he's an 18-year-old who's got a big decision to make. It really depends on if Camavinga chooses to come to us. Could that 3rd signing be KIERAN Trippier? Yes, it could be, but there's more and more reports that United will not sign KIERAN Trippier, on top of the reports that we wouldn't sign KIERAN Trippier a couple of weeks ago, because Atletico Madrid will not sell him for less than £20 million. And when you've got a young right-back like Dalot, you do not want to be spending £20 million on a 31-year-old right-back when right-back isn't priority. So the situation is, I don't think the Trippier deal will happen unless we sell Dalot, and I think Dalot is going to stay. I think he's going to be back up to Wan-Bissaka, and I think Ollie's happy with that. So the 3rd signing we're going to make is a midfielder, and I think we're going to sign a midfielder. It's SAUL, it's Neves, it's Camavinga. Now, SAUL, I think, is the hardest in the terms of like his caliber, his competition, but Ruben Neves, £35 million. It's between Manchester United and Arsenal. If you had a choice of Man U and Arsenal, you know, everyone would choose Man United. Even a diehard Arsenal fan would probably realise that, you know, top 4, mid-table, you go in top 4. You go in top 4. Like, it's logic. And then Camavinga, if he chooses Manchester United, we can get Camavinga. And this all depends on Lingard leaving, as we know from Fabrizio Romano. And there's more. It's looking more and more likely that Jesse Lingard will probably leave Manchester United at the end of the season. I've said this time and time again regarding Jesse Lingard and the Manchester United situation, but I think Jesse Lingard's a Chris Smalling. We know they're leaving the whole window, but there's a part of us that thinks they can stay because it's right at the end of the window. They haven't left, but they will leave. Joe says he can't wait for the Southampton game. We are cooking. I cannot wait for Manchester United Southampton either. I will be doing a match preview to Man United Southampton either Saturday or Friday, either Friday or Saturday night. I will do a match preview to Manchester United Southampton, where I would expect Sancho to start and possibly Varane to make his debut and all of that. Let's pray we can get Ruben Neves, exactly. And Phantom, thank you very much for the super chat. We need a Chelsea video on the one with Alice. I didn't watch the Chelsea Crystal Palace game. Otherwise, I would have done a review on my Palace. But that Chelsea Crystal Palace game wasn't even like on TV in England. You couldn't get it on TV in England. So the only way I could get it was an illegal stream, which I need to figure out how to do for future Manchester United games. I actually do know how to do it. I just need to find the right sites again for when I can do watch alongs to the Man United games that aren't streamed in England. But you know, we only watch legal TV here. We only watch legal TV here. What do you think? And Maximu says, where do you think we are going to finish, going to be in the league when the season ends? Top 4, definitely. Do I think we can win the title? I do think that Manchester City will recover. We're 1 game out of 38 in. I do still think that Manchester City will probably finish above us. So I'm going to say 3rd place, but you never know. A team like Chelsea could flop. We could flop. A team like Arsenal could exceed expectation. They probably won't. You never really know, but I would say 3rd place if I was going to put a guess on where Manchester United is. I was going to do a Premier League predictions video on the 2nd channel. Want to see us more on loan? Well, Tuanzebe's gone out on loan. Pereira's going for sale. Lingard's going to leave. I believe that Amad Diallo will go to Crystal Palace on loan. I'm actually going to read out an Amad Diallo story that's coming from Fabrizio Romano. What did Fabrizio Romano say? Fabrizio Romano said, on his Here We Go podcast today that Amad Diallo will go on loan. He has proposals from Basel, but also Premier League clubs like Crystal Palace, Sheffield United, and many others are interested. Amad Diallo wants Premier League football and will decide the next step in the next few days. So I believe Amad Diallo will go to Crystal Palace on loan because he wants Premier League, which is the right decision. We do not want him at Basel. We want to watch Amad Diallo. We want to watch him play for Palace. I believe Amad Diallo will go on loan to Crystal Palace. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Amad Diallo will go on loan and he wants to go on loan to a Premier League team, and Crystal Palace are interested. So that's the situation. Amad Diallo, again, looks like Brandon Williams is going on loan to Norwich, and Lingard and Pereira will probably sell, which means we can have a little bit of room for one more in to come in. And as I said earlier, and time again, could that final signing be Ruben Neves? Could that final signing be Camavinga? I think if it's Camavinga, it's because he chooses us. I think if it's Ruben Neves, it's because Camavinga rejects us and all of that. I think that is the situation. I believe we will stick with Delo. It's looking less and less likely that we will go for Kieran Trippier. More news coming in saying that Manchester United do not want Kieran Trippier. Saying that he's just way too expensive. United do not want to pay the money that Atletico Madrid want for Kieran Trippier, and we're happy to keep Delo. So I believe that is true. And West Ham will make an official bid offer for Jesse Lingard in the coming days, says Fabrizio Romano. And I do believe that Jesse Lingard will end up going to West Ham. And I think because Jesse Lingard will go to West Ham for £20-25 million, that Manchester United will find the funds to sign possibly a midfielder if we can get them, and we haven't left it too late. But I know we've got a few midfielders on our list to buy, by the way. Nick Morris says that seems today Bayern could sell Goretzka this summer now rather than lose him on a free. And next summer, they're not even close to agreeing a contract. Again, this is a possibility. We could get Goretzka. But I generally believe with Goretzka, he's using us for a new contract. United are interested in Goretzka, SAUL, Neves, Camavinga, and Goretzka. They're the five midfielders Manchester United are interested in signing. But as I said time and time again, you just don't know who's using us. Does Camavinga generally want Manchester United? Are we wasting our time with him? Is Goretzka using us for a new contract, or are we wasting our time with him? But solid point there as well. Varane not playing against Southampton. I think Varane will be on the bench versus Southampton, but I don't think he will start, which is an absolute shame because we know that Ollie doesn't like to take risks. MD says we need Camavinga. I do believe we need Camavinga. My only fear with Camavinga is because he's so young and so inexperienced. Would Ollie risk playing Camavinga over the likes of McFred? And unfortunately, although I think Camavinga's a better player and I think would offer more than McFred, I don't believe that's what Ollie would do. I think that is the situation with Camavinga, if I'm afraid to admit. But this guy said he would take Neves over Camavinga. I think the situation is we want Camavinga. We know from Fabrizio Romano that Camavinga is our dream midfield signing. We're waiting for Camavinga to decide. We're in a strong position to get Camavinga, especially if Lingard leaves and Camavinga chooses us, then there's no reason the deal wouldn't happen. We're in a very, very strong position to sign Camavinga, but we'll only get Camavinga if Camavinga chooses to go to Manchester United. And he has a lot of options because he's in control of his situation, because he has 1 year left on his deal. So that's the situation with Camavinga. If he wants United, he will come to United. But if he doesn't want United, I think we will go for Ruben Neves because we've only got to compete with teams like Arsenal for Ruben Neves. Alice, you need to wear red, not blue. I don't really have that much red, but I need to buy some more red. Amad to Palace, please. I'm praying that Amad Diallo goes to Palace because if he goes to Palace, then I'm going to watch him play because I do occasionally watch Palace play. If he goes to Basel, I'm not even going to see him. I really hope Amad Diallo goes to Crystal Palace because then we can do loan watches. We can do loan watches for Tuanzebe at Villa. We can do a loan watch for Brandon Williams at Norwich, and we can do a loan watch for Amad Diallo at Crystal Palace. So I really hope that happens as well. And by the way, guys, if you haven't already hit that like button, make sure you hit that like button. We're 52 likes away from 100 likes. So keep slapping that like button. Let's go for 100 likes by the end of the live stream. Let's go for 150 likes by the end of the live stream. And all of that. I got 32 likes on Fabrizio Romano's YouTube channel. Woo! Hopefully that will be the Amad transfer. I really want Amad Diallo to go to Crystal Palace, that Premier League experience. Andrew says, I hope it's not a PL club or Bundesliga club for Amad. Basel is a complete waste of time, in my opinion. Lower level than the club. Yeah, exactly. We brought Amad Diallo to play Premier League football. So for me, it's really, really important that Amad Diallo gets Premier League experience. Like if we're buying you to play Premier League football and you've got a choice of going to the Swiss League or playing in the Premier League, tending him to the Swiss League would be an absolute waste. And Amad Diallo himself wants Premier League football. I don't think Amad to Palace is a good thing. Palace have Saha and Eze on the wing. Don't think he'll play a lot. Eze is out injured though, so that's why I think it is a good thing. And I think that's why they want him. And Barney says, my question is, why don't we get a midfielder, Neves first, and sell the likes of Pereira and Lingard? I agree, but I believe Pereira and Lingard will leave, and then we'll go for Neves. The situation is, I don't want to risk buying a player if we can't sell anyone. So the situation is, although we've had 6 weeks since we signed Varane to sign a midfielder, we're going to wait until we sell midfielders before we can buy. It's just a frustrating situation. It is what it is. And Maximu says Neves is linked to go to Arsenal, Spurs as well. Which of these do you think he'd want to go to? United. You would choose Man United over Arsenal, Spurs. He's got that link up with Bruno. He knows Dalot as well. I'm sure he would choose United. And Daniel Fang says, I'm watching Dortmund versus Bayern in the Super Cup. Woo, let me know how the game is going. And Fabrizio Romano says, Manchester United are in love with Camavinga. They appreciate the player and the situation depends on him. And that is exactly what Fabrizio Romano tweets. So whether you're the real Fabrizio Romano or not, you know, you are just spitting facts right there and stuff what Fabrizio Romano just say. And Nick Morris says, do you think Arsenal will buy Jones? He is better than anything they have in defence. I mean, honestly, Phil Jones is the best defender in world football. Prove me wrong. Tell me a centre-back that is better than Phil Jones, because I can't name him. Phil Jones played half an hour versus Burnley, and he scored 75 goals in 30 minutes. You know, he's just so amazing. Phil Jones is the best player in world football. I would love it. You know what I think would be hilarious? I would love it if Arsenal generally spent money on Phil Jones, because Arsenal are the banter club for buying other teams' Deadwood. They brought Willie and he was shit. They get David Luiz, he's shit. Like, Arsenal are the banter club for buying Deadwood. Imagine if Arsenal put in like a £15 million bid for Phil Jones. It would generally make my week. For all of you guys joining the live stream, slap that like button. Let's go for 150 likes. But most importantly, we're talking about the situation. Lingard, Pereira likely to go on permanent moves. Lingard to West Ham, Pereira to Brazil, to Flamengo. Brandon Williams on loan to Norwich. Amad Diallo possibly on loan to Crystal Palace is coming in. And because we get those players out, it means we're allowed to bring in one more signing. Who will that third and final signing be? Well, we know from Fabrizio Romano and a lot of tier 1 sources that we do not want to back up right back. Kieran Trippier is off the plate. We've been priced out of Kieran Trippier. Dalot is looking more like to stay. So this final signing for Manchester United could in fact be a midfielder. And it looks like Camavinga and Neves are the two options. If Camavinga wants Manchester United, there's a strong chance we will get him. We're waiting for Camavinga to decide if he wants to join Manchester United or not. We've already held talks with Camavinga. We already know that, you know, he will be £30 million. We're waiting to see what Camavinga does. But if Camavinga is not available and we get enough money from selling Jesse Lingard, it's believed that we will go in for Ruben Neves and we will try and beat Arsenal and Spurs for Ruben Neves. But with the midfield situation, as I said, time and time again, you have to keep an eye on it. We're also talking about Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Obviously, Martial scored the first goal. It was a Juan corner, came off Maguire's head. Martial got a touch, it went in. The second goal, Martial assisted Jesse Lingard to make it 2-1. And the third goal was by Fred, hit the inside post to finish it up 3-1. Manchester United did in fact beat Burnley 3-1 in the pre-season friendly. The starting 11 was Heaton at goalkeeper, Dalot right back, Bailly Maguire the centre-backs, Brandon Williams left back, Matic and Van der Beek played in the pivot as Lingard as the number 10 with Mata on the right, Sancho on the left and Martial up top. So no, Rafael Varane was not involved in the pre-season friendly, but Jadon Sancho did in fact start in this like a pre-season friendly behind closed door day versus Burnley that we won 3-1. However, he didn't get a goal or assist, but he played well. Fernandes, Greenwood and Pogba and a lot of the main players were subbed on about 60 minutes in, where Greenwood and Fernandes also had a shot. But United did win that pre-season game. Who starts in midfield versus Southampton? Well, I'd like to see a bit of rotation. We didn't see any rotation last season, and I think that's what really cost us because we were exhausted last season. But I do think McFred will play versus Southampton. I think Donny and Matic will be better because I think versus Leeds, the reason McFred worked is because they worked last time versus Leeds. We didn't have much of the ball. But I think McFred will probably play versus Southampton, but I'd like to see Donny and Matic. Any questions for me? Please, of course, do put them down below in the live chat. If you want to ask me anything about the Manchester United Burnley pre-season game, feel free to. If you want to ask me anything about transfer news, again, feel free to. And make sure if you're not subscribed to the channel, to go and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football, if you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. So please do hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with all the latest news and transfer news. I will be live tomorrow night giving you all the latest transfer news regarding Manchester United, giving you some transfer news updates tomorrow night, so do subscribe for that. Friday night will be the Manchester United versus Southampton preview. Will I be talking about what lineup will be? And obviously I will be live on Sunday for a Manchester United Southampton watch along and match reaction. So a lot of stuff coming up on the channel. So just do subscribe if you're not subscribed and all of that. But yeah, keep getting your questions in as well. Why bother with my Twitter account? Why I'm here? It says Romano, the GOAT of transfers. And one way to get sacked as a director of football by an injured, massively overpaid Phil Jones. No one wants him. Exactly. And who starts the mid versus Southampton? Probably McFred, as I said. And Andrew says, scared to think that we could sell late with Lingard and Andreas and not buy after Ghana. would keep the Glazers' favoured net spend range. Yes, it would. That's the only situation is if we don't. There's a situation where we've been told that Manchester United will sell to buy. If we sell Lingard, we'll buy a midfielder. The situation is if Manchester United sell Jesse Lingard, they'll buy a midfielder. But is this the Glazers' situation where they just want to sell these players so then they can do their net spend range of around £60 million? The situation with Varane and Sancho is that we're paying Varane and Sancho over 5 years. So we're only really paying £30 million over 5 years for Varane and Sancho. So in terms of a net spend, I look at the situation, I'm a little bit like, to be fair, we've only actually spent 30 million this summer if you think about how we're going to be paying these deals over 5 years. So surely we have the money to go out and sign that CDM. That's what I think. But we unfortunately, although we signed Sancho, although we signed Varane, and although some fans are optimistic and like to think that we changed our way with the new director of football and all that, unfortunately the situation is we probably could afford a CDM, but the Glazers do not want to go over their net spend because the Glazers want that extra money. I generally think we can afford a CDM because I'm like, if Manchester City can afford to spend 100 million on Grealish and 150 million on Kane with no outs, surely we can afford to buy a CDM when we're only paying £17 million a year for Sancho over 5 years. We're only paying £11 million for Varane over, a 4-year period. We're paying less than £30 million a year for these players. So there's always a part of me that thinks, oh, could we afford a CDM? Axman says he's getting nervous. It's almost 2 weeks left of the window. Come on, United, sign a midfielder. I agree. Manchester United need to sign a midfielder. I think the situation is, I think we have almost put all our eggs in the Camavinga basket because, yes, we've been linked to SAUL NIGUEZ. Yes, we've been linked to Goretzka. Yes, we've been linked to Rice. Yes, we've been linked to Ruben Neves. Yes, we're interested in them. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that. But we're in a situation with all these players that we've only really made contact with Rennes and we've only really made contact with Camavinga and his agent. And that was over a month ago that we actually made that interest with Camavinga. I'm in a situation like we signed Sancho, we signed Varane, we've had all this time to boom, click, get that third and final signing. So a little bit of me is like, okay, like, come on, United, hurry up. But that third and final signing could be Camavinga. And we know from Fabrizio Romano that we love the idea of Camavinga. Camavinga will be sold this summer. Rennes do not want him going on a free. And the situation is the Spanish clubs cannot get Camavinga due to financial situations. PSG in a situation now getting messy due to financial fair play that they might not be able to get Camavinga, meaning Camavinga's option really only is a move to Manchester United or sign a new deal at Rennes, and he wants to leave Rennes. Now, his only option is a move to Manchester United. However, does he want to move to Manchester United? Because if he doesn't want to move to Manchester United, he's not going to join us. But he's an 18-year-old. He's taking his time. He's making his decision. There's a chance that Camavinga does choose to join us, but we need to know now. We're in a situation where there is 2 weeks exactly left of the transfer window today, that we were waiting for Camavinga to hurry up and make that decision. Is he going to join us? Is he not going to join us? And I think in the next week, we'll have an answer regarding Camavinga. And if Camavinga's shown no interest in us in the next week, I think we will look at Ruben Neves. But I think us signing Ruben Neves depends on, can we get Jesse Lingard sold to West Ham for 20 million? Can we get Andreas Pereira out the door? And I think we can. And because I think we can sell these players, I think we will go for a midfielder. But I think we're in a position where, we might not get Neves, we might not get Camavinga, we might just end up getting some average Sean Longstaff, not good enough midfielder on deadline day to say that we've got a midfielder and get Ollie's third or fourth choice. Jonas Loic says no to Camavinga. I'm more than happy to get Camavinga. Just the situation with Camavinga is Neves gets straight into the team, SAUL NIGUEZ gets into the team, Goretzka gets into the team, Rice gets into the team. Does Camavinga walk into that Manchester United starting 11? Probably not, but he's a signing for the future. Any news on a DM? We want a DM, but we won't be able to pay more. We won't be able to sign a big, expensive, fancy DM that could be a prime Matic replacement. It's going to just be an extra midfielder if we can sell Lingard. I think that's the situation. I think we will be going for an out-and-out CDM next summer. As much as we like to get Neves, no tier 1 journalists actually linked us to him. It was all about Camavinga. Fabrizio Romano says we have an interest in Neves. We're monitoring him. We like him. But yeah, in terms of tier 1 journalists, they've only said we've made contact with Camavinga and that Camavinga is the dream. But Romano has mentioned that United do have a Neves interest and all that. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. I'm on the road to 17,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, please do click that subscribe button down below. This is a Manchester United fan channel. I do match reactions, match previews, transfer news updates, and more. So if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news in the next 2 weeks, do subscribe because we're in the final 2 weeks of the transfer window. We're going to be getting some players out. We're going to be getting some players in. So if you want to be updated, if we sell a player, I will be live. If we buy a player, I'll be live. And if we're close to buying a player, I'll be live to notify you guys and update you guys. So if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news, guys, do subscribe down below. We're also talking a little bit about Manchester United Burnley, the pre-season friendly. behind closed doors today. So stay tuned for a little bit more report on that. And also I'm going to be doing a Man United Southampton preview this week. I'm going to be doing a transfer news update video tomorrow. There's going to be a lot more transfer news coming in tomorrow that I'm going to update you guys on as well regarding what we're going to do in the final week of the transfer market. And I will be doing a live watch along on Sunday for Man U Southampton as well as match reaction. So make sure you're subscribed so you can stay tuned to all of that. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do. Andrew says us affording is not the issue. The Glazers do not want to spend beyond a certain point. Paying interest on the debt and taking their dividends is their priority. And Andrew is 100% spitting facts there. Whether you like that or not, that is the truth. And Andrew's just said it. And Jonah says, sell NIGUEZ or Ruben Neves and sell Paul Pogba if he didn't sign the contract. Well, Paul Pogba's in the form of his life. Paul Pogba's looking happy. And actually reports coming in say that Paul Pogba is more and more likely to sign a contract. The Daily Mail, and yes, this has come from the Daily Mail, so do take the story with a pinch of salt, have talked about Paul Pogba signing a new deal, saying that, pardon me, the Daily Mail said today that Manchester United want Paul Pogba to sign a new 4-year contract. We know that's true. Of course, we want Pogba to stay. We know Man United want Pogba to stay as soon as possible and would give him a significant increase on his £290,000 a week contract. However, it's almost certain he won't sign any new deal before the transfer window closes. That's what the Daily Mail has said. And to be fair, I know it's come from the Daily Mail, but it makes sense. I think the situation with Paul Pogba, and I've said it time and time again, is Paul Pogba loves Manchester United, but he's only going to sign a new deal at Manchester United if he's playing his best football and he's happy. You know, Paul Pogba is about happiness. And I think he's at a situation where, like, right now, you've got 4 assists versus Leeds. He's playing really good football. Man United are winning. If Man United get to Christmas time and we're top of the league and Paul Pogba's playing the best football of his career, I guarantee you he will sign that contract at Manchester United. But if we get to Christmas time and we're shite, we're in 8th, 9th place, and Paul Pogba's been poor, he's not going to sign that contract. That is the situation right there, right now. Because come January, if he hasn't signed a contract, boom, PSG can sweep him up. Boom, Real Madrid can sweep him up as a free agent. So for me, that is the situation with Paul Pogba and all of that. By the way, Varane was not involved in the preseason friendly today. And I don't think Varane will start versus Southampton, but Jadon Sancho did start in the preseason friendly today. For all of you that would wondering, Neves as a starter, we get him. Camavinga doesn't. I do agree. I think Camavinga is a better player than Neves in a sense of in terms of potential, what he has to offer in a few years' time. But I think right now Neves is Premier League proven. He's a good player. You know, when you sign Neves, he's good enough to start. Is Camavinga good enough to start? He hasn't got Premier League experience. I think the situations, I think long-term Neves is a better signing. Sorry, long-term Camavinga is a better signing than Neves. But I think the situation is, again, you don't know if he's going to start or not. Alice, do you think Cavani will be available for us this weekend? Again, Cavani wasn't really involved in the pre-season fixtures. I don't think Cavani will be involved versus Southampton, maybe on the bench. I don't think Varane or Cavani will start, but I think Varane will be on the bench, and I think Cavani could possibly be on the bench. Yeah, I think Sancho is most likely to. I think it's going to be the lineup versus Leeds, but with Sancho coming in for Dan James, if you want my honest opinion, I don't think that Cavani will be involved. And I think Varane will be on the bench, and unfortunately Lindelof will start ahead of Varane again, but hopefully that won't be the case going into more games of the season, because last season we learned, and all of us fans learned, that this Maguire, Lindelof, Fred partnerships, back six thing just didn't work. And against Southampton, I really hope we don't play a back six, because you know they're a team that's we're gonna have a lot of the ball, we're gonna have more possession. So you know Southampton are a weak team, so hopefully we're not playing this back six negative shit versus Southampton. Hopefully we'll be playing positive 4-3-3 attacking football versus Southampton, and that's why I want to see Donny and Matic playing a pivot versus Southampton, because Donny and Matic are better on the ball. Versus Leeds, we had less possession than Leeds. That's where McTominay and Fred work, because off the ball, McTominay and Fred do their job of protecting the back four, and they weren't on the ball as much. We had less possession than Leeds, but the minute we have more possession, we're breaking down teams. I think it's really important that Donny and Matic start, but is Ollie going to rotate Donny and Matic for Southampton? You know, Donny and Matic started today in a pre-season friendly versus Burnley. Everyone that started today in the pre-season friendly versus Burnley, apart from Maguire, wasn't involved versus Leeds, which makes me think that everyone starting today in the pre-season friendly probably won't be involved or start versus Southampton, apart from Harry Maguire. And Varane and Cavani weren't even involved at all, which means I know they definitely won't start versus Southampton, which is the frustrating situation. However, Sancho did start, and hopefully, if anything, I don't really want to see my friend, but hopefully Sancho does come in for Daniel James. Any questions for me, guys, please do pop them down below in the live chat. I'm going to try and read out and respond to as many questions as possible in the live chat. Alice, are you watching Bayern versus Dortmund on Sky? I'm not, because I'm doing this live stream, but I'm sure it's a good game, but I'm generally not watching it. And Andrew says we could easily afford a DM if we're linked with. Neglecting that a DM is not the way to compete with Chelsea, and City may do this window. Exactly, I 100% agree with Andrew's comment. At the end of the day, the DMs we linked with aren't 90, 80, 100 million pound signings. Ruben Neves is a 30, 35 million pound signing. Yes, is he the perfect DM for Manchester United? No. Maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's in a situation where he's like, the Glazers, I don't want your third or fourth choice option. I want to get my first choice in each position, and maybe Ollie's first choice is someone like Ndidi, someone like Declan Rice that we can't afford. So maybe we're not getting the backups because they've learned, you got Donny van de Beek as backup to Grealish. Ollie doesn't use him. Ollie doesn't want Neves as backup to Declan Rice, let's say, but Neves is a cheaper option. But I still think we're in a situation where there's a lot of CDMs out there that could do a better job than McTominay and Fred for £40 million or less. Now, if you sold Daniel James and you sold Jesse Lingard, you would get £40 million for the two of them, and you could invest that into a CDM without even spending. But I still think we can spend £40 million without selling Jesse Lingard, without selling anyone, because as I said time and time again, Varane is paid over 5 years, Sancho is paid over 5 years. We're paying less than 30 million a year for these signings. We're paying less than 30 million has come out our pockets this year because we've managed to do these deals over 5 years and got an extension on the Donny van de Beek deal that I think we can go out and sign a top-notch DM. But as Andrew said, the Glazers don't care. If we really wanted to compete with Man City and Chelsea, we would have gone and signed Declan Rice, and CDM would be priority position over Sancho, over Varane. Sancho and Varane are great signings, but CDM was needed more than anything, and it wasn't priority because the signing of Sancho and Varane gets more shirt sales, it gets more hype, it gets more media attention. It's going to generate more money because they're bigger names, bigger signings. But the most important signing we could have made this summer was a CDM. And I still think we can get a CDM now. All the reports coming in from Fabrizio and Tier 1 journalists saying Man United want a midfielder, but it depends on if Jesse Lingard leaves or not. Camavinga's the dream. Neves is the dream. For me, we know Camavinga's not going to be more than £30 million. We know Ruben Neves is £35 million. For me, United should just go out and get them because they're not that expensive. I don't think we need to sell to get these players, if you want my thing. Joe says Neves makes the most sense this summer. It almost feels like Paul Pogba replacement 1 year early. A midfield of Rice, Neves and Bruno is quite tasty. Yeah, 100%, 100%. But I do think Donny is that Paul Pogba replacement that's coming early. I think now for Neves, I think Neves is the best signing in terms of now and instant impact. And I don't care if we sign another CDM, we have Donny van de Beek. Well, Donny van de Beek, I think the situation is we don't have a CDM that can do what Matic does and hold on their own and free up the other players. But I think Donny van de Beek is more than comfortable at playing in the pivot. And I think McTominay, for me, isn't that good. I don't think McTominay's that good. He played well versus Leeds. He has a few good games here and there. He was our best player in the Europa League final. But I don't think McTominay is a better player than Donny van de Beek. And it frustrates me that McTominay starts week in, week out in the pivot. When I think that we've seen Donny van de Beek in pre-season, we've seen Donny van de Beek against Wolves, against Leicester, good sides, where he's played well in the pivot. And I would like to see Donny van de Beek more involved in the pivot. And I think he can play in the pivot, but Donny can't do what Matic does, which is hold on his own, break the lines, and give the box-to-box the freedom to go forward. Because Donny is a box-to-box player that can play in the pivot, like Fred and McTominay can. But the reason we play Fred and McTominay together and not Fred on his own or McTominay on their own is because they can't hold on their own. And I think Donny is that same situation. I think we do need to see them that can hold on their own. And but I do think Donny can play in the pivot. Alice, will you play midfield on my co-ed team? For sure. Pogba won't sign. He's about the money, says Scott Kelly. Pogba signing, I think, is all about how Pogba plays and how Manchester United are playing come Christmas time. If Pogba's playing well, if Man United are playing well, if we're winning something, if we look like we're going to win something, I think he could put pen to paper. But if he's not playing well, if we're not playing well, then I don't think he will. And Neves would probably make Bruno happy, the Portugal link. Possibly. Apparently, Bruno spoke to Neves about him coming to Manchester United. And Nick Morris says, also been said that Pogba has told his teammates he will sign a new contract. More and more news coming in about Pogba signing a new contract, which I will discuss in a sec. I'm just going to take a drink of water. But any questions for you that you have for me, please pop them in the live chat. Sorry. I'm going to try and address some of the questions in the live chat. I've been asked if I play FIFA. I do not. But yeah, I think regarding the Paul Pogba situation, it's looking more and more likely that he will stay at Manchester United. I think there's a situation again where Paul Pogba is. I just think you have to wait and see. I think with Camavinga, we have to wait and see. We like Camavinga, but will he choose United? He's 18. This is his big decision. You know, when you're 18, you choose if what you want to do when you leave school. Do you want to go to uni? Do you want to do an apprenticeship? You know, we will have to make the decision what uni do we go to, what course do we do at uni, do we do apprenticeship, do we work? And this is Camavinga's big decision in that sense, where he doesn't want to rush into anything. Does he go to Manchester United? Does he go to PSG? But will he get game time at PSG? Does he wait a year and go to Spain where his heart's set on? But will Real Madrid want him? Camavinga has to make that big decision. And I think In terms of midfielders, you have to wait and see what Camavinga does. I think we will know in the next 2 weeks, obviously, because the transfer window ends in the next 2 weeks. If Camavinga decides to join us or not, I think if Camavinga decides to join Manchester United, we will sign him whether we sell Lingard or not, because he is the dream option in midfield. And Fabrizio Romano said that. And I think with Paul Pogba, there's more and more indication that he will stay at Manchester United. If you are new to the channel, guys, and you haven't hit that like button, please do hit that like button. We're going for 150 likes by the end of the live stream. So please do make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. And with that, more news coming in that Kane to Man City is in an advanced stage. It's looking more and more likely that Kane will go to Manchester City, which really, really frustrates me. So I'm just really happy that Spurs did beat Manchester City, because it'll make it harder and harder for us. And more and more news that Harry Kane will be going to Manchester City coming in. We're 49 likes away from 150 likes, so slap that like button. And of course, guys, if you are new, do subscribe down below to the channel. Alice Talks Football does daily Manchester United news update and content. I'll be doing a transfer news update tomorrow. There's a lot of transfer news coming in tomorrow night that I'm going to update you guys with tomorrow. So make sure you subscribe for that. Thursday night will be another transfer news and news live stream discussing topics. I'll be interactive with the live chat, talking to you guys in the live chat on Thursday night. Friday night is the Manchester United Southampton match preview, talking about who's going to start, what lineup it should be as well. And of course, Sunday is Manchester United Southampton watch long and match reaction. So if you want to stay up to date with all of that, do make sure you are subscribed and all of that. But any comments in, by the way, get them down below. I am going to try and address as many comments in the live chat as possible. So please get any questions for me down below in the chat. Would you like Ronaldo back? I would take him back, but not unless we get a CDM. At the end of the day, you could say, do you want Haaland? Yes. Would you like Ronaldo back? Yes. But if I could sign anyone in the world for Manchester United, it wouldn't be Ronaldo, it wouldn't be Haaland, it would be Ndidi. My situation is, and this is my stance, and I haven't changed my stance in a while, I would love us to sign an out-and-out CDM. An out-and-out CDM that could do the job that a lot of other players could do. An out-and-out CDM that could do what Prime Matic could do. That's what I want Manchester United to sign. And then once we sign that, I'd like us to go with Haaland next summer as a Cavani replacement. If Dalot wants to leave, maybe look at competition for Wan-Bissaka. But I solely stand on get a top CDM. Then next summer we look at strikers. We look at, do we bring Ronaldo back? Do we get Haaland in? And all of that. Question for Alice in the chat. If Rice comes, who would you want? Who would you not mind seeing leave? Fred or Scott? I don't really care who leaves out of the two of them. Scott McTominay is younger, but I think Fred is better. But then I think Scott McTominay as a box-to-box would work better than with Rice, because Scott McTominay could be that Souček. So I'd probably sacrifice Fred. It'd be interesting who you guys would choose to sacrifice. The Wall says Donny is a number 8, north to 6, or a 10, a very good number 8. Donny's, I think, best position is box-to-box for me. And this guy says, hey, how are you? Came in late. We could bid late for Camavinga, but Ollie won't use him ahead of Fred and McTominay. And that's the situation. Apparently, Camavinga's Ollie's dream signing, but I'm like, really? Is Ollie just being greedy? Does he want him for the future? Because I feel like Bellingham was a player that Ollie and Solskjaer really wanted last summer, and Bellingham chose to go to Borussia Dortmund, and I'm glad he did, because he's getting so many minutes at Borussia Dortmund. He's a top player. My situation with Camavinga is Camavinga just another Bellingham, where it's a young player, but it's only going to give Camavinga the Amad Diallo treatment. Camavinga joins, gets chucked in the under-23s, barely plays, goes out on loan. You know, Camavinga is Ollie's dream midfield signing, apparently, but is he? Is Ollie going to play him? What's Ollie going to do with Camavinga as well? I think that is a situation you really got to think about regarding Camavinga. Yang Wen says, do you think Rashford is a bit irresponsible that he didn't take his surgery earlier? He knew he had an injury before the Euros, but he chose to go with the England team, and Southgate didn't even play him. I think Rashford didn't know that he wasn't going to play, and you've also led to. I think Rashford saw, like, it's an international tournament, and it's Rashford's dream. I think with Greenwood, he knew he's got loads of international tournaments coming up. But I think with Rashford, I think he shouldn't have played for England. I think he should have done what Greenwood did and pull out and taken his surgery earlier, so he involved further at the start of the season. But I think Rashford just always wants to play through it. I think Rashford was even debating taking his surgery because he wants to just play football. He doesn't want to be out. And I think it was such a big decision for him that I'm not going to slate him for it, but I do think he should have done what Mason Greenwood did. Would you like Ronaldo back? I answered that one, didn't I? And I think we should sell Lingard and get Neves. I 100% agree with you. I love Jesse Lingard. He's a fantastic player. He's a great player. Like, no one dislikes Jesse Lingard. But I don't, like, we saw against Leeds, and he wasn't even there, that he's not going to play. If Donny van de Beek can't get minutes, do you expect Lingard to? You know, I mean, to be fair, Daniel James, Juan Mata, and Fred all had Donny van de Beek unfairly, but it's a situation. I don't want to see Kane at Manchester City meet either. Thing is, when Manchester City signed Jack Grealish, I wasn't one of those people that was like, oh, it's over. Manchester City have signed Jack Grealish, because I was like, that's just another winger. You know, Man City has signed Jack Grealish, but they've got 1,000 wingers. They've got Ferran Torres, Mahrez, and Bernardo Silva, all capable of playing on the right. And on the left-hand side, they've already got Sterling and Foden that play on the left-hand side, plus Grealish. That means Manchester City have 3 left wingers and 3 right wingers. They don't have a striker other than Jesus. So if Manchester City signs Kane, I'm scared. Like, Man City signing Grealish, I'm like, okay, Grealish is a top player. Grealish and De Bruyne in the same team, wow. But they're going to create a lot of chances. But create a lot of chances for who? A non-existent striker. Well, if they sign Kane, it's fucking over. But again, with Jack Grealish, he slowed down City's play a lot. I think maybe because I think Grealish was good, but I don't know if he really suits City as well. But we'll have to wait and see with that. But I do think if City sign Kane, it's over. But I thought the Jack Grealish to City signing was just like, okay, well, they've already got Sterling and Foden that can play as a left winger. They've already got Mahrez, Ferran Torres, and Bernardo Silva that play on the right. Cool, you've added another winger. If they sign Kane, I don't want that to happen. But yeah, 100%. Andreas Pereira is left out of Man United squad versus Burnley and has accepted a proposal from Flamengo. Yeah, Pereira will leave this summer. He's more than happy to leave Man United this summer. Unlike players like Phil Jones that sit on the bench and give our medical staff a lot to do, Andreas Pereira is like, I want to leave because I want to play first-team football. I care about my career. I'm willing to take a wage cut. And Pereira's got the right attitude. 92 likes for 100 likes, guys. Guys, if you haven't hit that like button, look, take a sec, pause, hit that like button. Hit that like button now. We're going to go for 150 likes by the end of the live stream. So make sure you hit that like button. And of course, if you are new, do subscribe down below if you want to be kept up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news live tomorrow night with a big transfer news update video, updating you all on more midfield situation, who could be our third signing and more. We'll be live tomorrow night with that. And again, I'll be live for Southampton watch along, for Southampton match preview, for more transfer news updates and my reaction to Southampton game. Will Donny play versus Southampton? Will Varane play? Will Sancho play? We will talk more about that. And of course, do make sure to subscribe just to stay up to date with all the latest news and stuff as well. If we sign a player, I'm live. If we're close to signing a player, I'm live. If we sell a player, I'm live to update you on everything we need to know as we're in the final 2 weeks of the transfer window. Solomon says, please, we need Ndidi. I 100% agree. I would take Ndidi in a heartbeat, but we're not going to sign him. And Vincent said, I have a feeling we will win the league. Cavani and Rashford aren't yet in, but we are banging in goals. Competition and attacking stats will improve the team, same way as the left back position. We have an attack to win the league, and we have a good back four. I agree, but McFred is our weakness. You know, you can't judge McTominay and Fred versus Leeds, because when we beat Leeds 6-2, McTominay and Fred were some of the best players on the pitch. Then every other game they were shite, but they looked good versus Leeds. You can't judge McTominay and Fred versus Leeds. I think we have the attack to win the league. I think we've got a solid back four now. Varane's coming in there, but I don't know if we can win the league with McFred. If Man City don't sign Harry Kane, and we've signed Sancho and Varane and they've only signed Grealish, I believe that we could possibly win the league if Man City don't sign Harry Kane and we have McFred. But if Manchester City sign Harry Kane, the only way we're challenging with them is a CDM, because then Man City have the complete squad. Man City have a complete squad minus a striker. We have a complete squad minus an out-and-out CDM. You know, Chelsea probably do have the complete squad. Liverpool, they have a complete squad, but they haven't really added to it. They're not as good as they used to be. I think if Man City don't sign Kane, possibly we could win the league. But I think if Man City sign Kane, we'd need a CDM to win the league. But you make a very, very good point there. And Manchester City on the verge of spending $1/4 billion in one window. The game is officially gone. That's financial fair play. It's not fair. We need people to run football. That, you know what? Because Manchester City can cheat and cheat and cheat. They were meant to get a 2-year ban from the Champions League, and they got away with it. Do you know why? They chuck money at the right people. Man City can cheat and they can bend the rules, but if they chuck money at the right people, they can get away with it. The FA, FIFA, UEFA, it's all corrupt. Football needs new people making new rules, not the Super League kind of people, but football needs to be fair. Football needs to, you can have financial fair play, but they need to incorporate it. And let's be honest, Manchester City have bent the rules. PSG have bent the rules, but because they give the money to the right people after they bend the rules, they get away with it. And it's not fair. You know, Chelsea bent the rules, but to be fair, Chelsea got punished for it when they got that transfer ban. Manchester City won't, because they have the money, they give the money to the right people, they can get away with it. I do agree that there's aspects of football that are not fair. City have already a level above us and could easily spend 250 million on just 2 players. We can't be neglecting a DM sign up against that. 100% agree with what Andrew said down below. And Kane won't go to Man City, says this person, and I think he will. Like, why is he not turning up to Spurs training? You know what I mean? And in Ollie's eyes, McFred are his best midfielders. That's the problem. That is the problem. I don't. That's my situation. I'm like, has Ollie learned from last season? You know, you've got to improve from last season. We have to have learned. We have to know to move forward. And has Ollie learned from last season? Well, what 3 things? Our 3 biggest problems last season was that McFred didn't really work. It wasn't the best. That was one of the problems from last season. The second problem was that Oli didn't rotate his squad enough. Pep Guardiola and Thomas Tuchel were the two managers that rotated their squad the most last season. What did they win? A Premier League and a Champions League. And the third thing was Oli played coward football. When we were 0-0, he kept the same team on. He didn't want to risk losing to win. And there are three things I want to see. Now, we've seen the subs actually versus Leeds, but we need to see less of McFred and more rotation. And we're going to find this out of opening 5-6 games of the season. Will Oli change this up? Because if he doesn't, I think it could be another season, decent season, but another great. I think to take his management to the next level, he would need to change on that. Guys, make sure you are subscribed down below to the channel. Keep sharing the stream. Keep hitting that like button. We're going to go for 150 likes by the end of the live stream. So if you're not subscribed, if you've not hit that like button, go do that. Go do that. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We're on the road to 17,000 subscribers. And hit that like button if you have not hit that like button. Sorry, my nose has got a bit. Let me take a sip of water. And what I'm saying is, hit that like button, subscribe. And this is an interactive live stream. So any questions for me, any questions you want me to answer, put them in the live chat. Any questions about transfer news, any questions about the Burnley game, any questions about football, things that happen in football in general, comment them down below. I'm going to go and answer a lot of my questions. So let's get in the live chat. Let's get some questions and all of that. This guy doesn't like Foden. I think Foden's a good player, but I think he's overhyped and overrated by the English media. I think he's a good player, but he wasn't very impressive at the Euros. Whenever he has a few good games, he gets bum-licked. I think Foden's a good player, but he's definitely bum-licked and overrated. People think he's clear of Sancho because he had a goodish season. No. Prince says, today Van der Beek played in a deeper midfield role, so that's 4 players in that role. All I hope is that United sign a quality DM. It's gone. We'll have to make do with that. We'll have to challenge for the title. That is a situation as well, but the thing is, yes, McTominay, Fred, and Van der Beek can all play in a deep role as a duo in the pivot, but they can't hold on their own like Matic can. And all the best teams have one holding player. Think Spurs will be coming for an Arsenal fan. I think Nunes is a great coach. Spurs could surprise us. I think a lot of people have written off Spurs, especially if they lose Kane. But when Kane's been injured, Son's always stepped up to the plate. Son almost looks better when Kane doesn't play it, weirdly enough. So it's one of them situations as well. Spurs could surprise us. Arsenal could surprise us. Man City will probably win the league, even though they lost the first game as well. And Andrew says, for those who are not subscribed, please do subscribe. Yeah, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Most importantly, we're on the road to 17k, as we're on 16.2k subscribers. So please do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. If everyone can keep hitting that subscribe button, it would be massively appreciated. If you're not subscribed, Leeds were awful defensively, let's be honest. Exactly. And there's not going to be that many teams in the Premier League that aren't drilled defense. Like, Leeds are one of the worst defensive teams in the league, and they're not drilled well defensively. And we're not going to play many teams like Leeds that we can just obliterate. So yeah, I just think the situation with Leeds is you can't judge McTominay and Fred off a Leeds game, because Leeds play a different way to everyone else in Leeds. I heard Sancho got an assist. Is that true? Maybe on the Fred goal, because I know Martial got an assist and I know Maguire got an assist. So maybe Sancho got the third assist. I'll have to watch back the game. And I think Song is a better long-term striker, says Diego. I think Son's a quality player. Do I like him because of what he did against Manchester United? Not anymore, but I think Son's a quality player. Alice, what do you think about Sir Alex Ferguson's recommendation of John McGinn from Aston Villa? Is it because he's Scottish, though? Ryan Giggs recommended Dan James because he's Welsh. Is he recommending him because he's Scottish? Maybe. McGinn is a good player, though, and Sir Alex Ferguson knows a little bit more ball than Ryan Giggs. I would take John McGinn. I would take him. I think he's a decent player, but I don't think he is the ideal perfect signing. Faisal says, do you think Cavani will challenge Kane with goals this season? I don't think Cavani will challenge Kane's with goals this season, because Cavani's a lot older than Kane, and I just don't think he has the ability to play week in, week out. I think Cavani's a player that could play 25 games in the Premier League and get 15 goals, where Kane plays 35 games and he gets 20 goals. But I don't think, I don't think so. And Alice, what do you do apart from vlogging? I watch football, believe it or not. And this season is not over. If they buy Kane, let's back the boys. Yeah, Manchester till we die. Glory, glory, Man United. We've got to back the boys, because if Manchester City buy Kane, it's going to be a very, very hard situation for us. Niall Kane says, Alice, did you see Ty on the Overlap channel clashing with Keenan, Neville and Cara? He will never say a bad word about Arsenal. You know what? Ty might be deluded some of his opinions and stuff, but you can't. I have nothing but respect for Ty, because he's just passionate about his club. He's a bit of a meme. He's not a bad person. He's passionate about his club, and you have to respect him for it. And he's good banter. He's good to take piss out of. I don't like Ollie is late with subs. Yeah, I agree. Ollie's late with subs. Yeah, keep smashing that like button. Let's go for 150 likes. By the way, is Coutinho joining Arsenal? Maybe, but why would he want to go to Arsenal? And Alice, what do you think about SAUL? I believe FC Metz with United concerning the player. I don't know enough about him to, I'm not that bothered about the situation. I won't lie to you and all of that. If you want my honest opinion. And it seems like Pereira's off. He was left out today's squad, and he's accepted an offer for Flamengo. That is the situation. And Andrew says, Haffenhoff is like Bielsa. He often opens up the play despite the risk against certain opposition. Hopefully that will expire versus Southampton. You make a good point, but because Southampton are a little bit weaker than they used to be, and I think they're a much weaker squad and they didn't end the season well, I feel like they're less likely to open up though. And I think I think Southampton will be hard. I think it'll be harder to break down Southampton. I think they're a worse team than Leeds, but I think they will be harder to break down because I don't think Hasselhoff is, particularly stupid. Guys, if you are not subscribed, please do subscribe. We are 8 subscribers off 16.240k. We're on 16,232 subscribers. Let's hit 16,240 subscribers by the end of the live stream. So we're 8 subscribers off that. So if you're watching, there's over 100 people watching and you're not subscribed, just take a second, subscribe. United news, United updates, United live stream. If you're watching, you're not subscribed, go and subscribe. Go and like, because we're going to wrap up the live stream in the next 5 minutes. So any questions I didn't answer, I'm going to answer tomorrow's live stream, where there will be a big transfer news update. What's the time in the UK? 21 minutes past 8 in the UK. And how do you watch about the friendly game? There's clips on Twitter and there's reports on it. You can't watch the game. It's behind closed doors. And I'll drive Andreas to the airport. Good riddance, says Joe. Yeah, any questions for me, guys? Pop them down below in the live chat. We've got 5 minutes left in today's live stream, so keep popping your questions in. I will try and answer them. Adam Armstrong is a solid replacement for Danny Ings. I think he is, but I still think Danny Ings is a level ahead of him. We'll have to wait and see. And are you confident Man United will win the title this season? No, but I'm going to back us top of the league. Glory, Man United, top of the league. And Andrew says, Grealish is a type of, I'm not sure it fits Pep's system, but Kane, who also drops deep and gets many assists, I would worry about. Yeah, Kane, look, when Man City brought Grealish, I was like, okay, I'm not that bothered about it. If Man City, look, I would rather Man City just get 100 players than sign Kane, because Kane is that player. Kane, Lewandowski is that player that will finish. Now, the only good thing about Kane going to City is that Kane does have a dodgy injury record. So hopefully, I'm not wishing injury on a player, but you never know. You should do a transfer deadline day live stream. I will be doing a transfer deadline day live stream. I'm going to be live tomorrow night with some more transfer news updates, and then I will be doing a deadline day cheeky live stream. So make sure you subscribe for that. Make sure you tune for the deadline day live stream. Neves' contract runs out in 2024. He's going to take more than 35 million to get him. It was quoted by a tier 2 journalist 35 million, but it could be more like 40 million. I agree, but he does want to leave, and Nuno isn't there. Heard Sancho got an assist. I think Sancho got an assist for a Fred goal. I can check that now. Do you want me to check who got the assist for the Fred goal? Let's look at this. Sancho assist. Breaking news coming in that Pereira is leaving on loan. Why can't we just get Pereira a permanent move, not stupid loan? We're actually getting mugged off. But I think Sancho got an assist, but we will have to see. I'm not sure. I know that Maguire and Martial got the first 2 assists. Maybe Sancho got the third. And Romano says Delo is prepared to stay at Man United despite interest from AC Milan. Trippier deal stagnating because of this Manchester United night. Try and bring in a new fielder. This is facts. Even if this isn't the real Fabrizio Romano, it's probably not the real Fabrizio Romano. This is basically what Fabrizio Romano has generally said on Twitter. That is the situation. We want them midfielder because we can't get Trippier, and Delo is likely to stay. Lingard will leave. Pereira will leave. We know Ahmad and Williams are going out on loan, and because of that's happening, United will go for a midfielder more and more likely. As I've said, it will. I think Camavinga, if he chooses us, we will get. If Camavinga doesn't choose us, I think we'll look at Neves. I think we'll look at SAUL. I think we'll look at Goretzka. But I think it could be a situation where come deadline day, we do make a panic buy in midfield when we see that Fred and McTominay aren't good enough. When Ollie finally realises that, I think we could make a panic buy in midfield on deadline day. But I will do a transfer video tomorrow. I'm going to be updating you on all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news in tomorrow's live stream. So if you're not subscribed, do say subscribe to make sure you are involved in tomorrow's live stream to stay updated on all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news, by the way, guys. And Alice, how many goals do you think Martial will make? Martial creates a lot of goals. I think Martial is a good striker. If he can get his confidence up, if he can get his momentum up, and he gets service, I think Martial will have a very, very good season and get a few assists. Cavani or Aubameyang, well, I'm just going to take Cavani because he plays for United. And what do you think about handsome Ronaldo? I'd take him back at United, but not before a CDM. Foden or Greenwood? Look, Foden's probably better right now, but Greenwood's 2 years younger. He's our star boy. I'm backing Greenwood all the way. And yeah, who do you think will get golden boot this season? Okay. I'd say Kane 100% if he goes to Manchester City unless he gets injured. But I'm going to go safe and I'm going to go with Mohamed Salah because he's always up in that race. And sorry, you're going to have to finish above Chelsea to win the league. The thing is, I think we can finish above Liverpool, but it's Chelsea and Man City I'm more concerned about as a Manchester United fan. But thank you, everybody, for tuning into today's live stream. In today's live stream, we talked about the 3-1 win versus Burnley. If you want to hear a review and what's written up about the Burnley game, skip to the beginning of this video if you joined the live stream late. Just scroll back to the beginning and then we talk about the Burnley game, the review, who scored, who played well, who had assists, all of that. So do skip to the start. We talked about the midfield situation. Lingard out, Pereira out, Brandon Williams and Amad Diallo going on Premier League loans. That was other news going in to join Axel Tuanzebe, who's also on loan at Aston Villa. The situation is Man United want to buy a midfielder with Dalot staying and Trippier being outpriced, and Paul Pogba looking more and more likely to stay at Manchester United. That was the situation. In terms of midfielders, it's Camavinga, it's Neves. News. That's what we're talking about in today's live stream. If you had any questions for me in the live chat that I didn't answer, or you just put them in now and I can't answer because I'm wrapping up the live stream, just subscribe with bell notifications on. If you subscribe with bell notifications on, you can pop any questions you have for me in today's video, in tomorrow's video that I'll try and answer. I'm doing a big transfer news update video tomorrow. I will be live tomorrow night with lots of transfer news to update you guys on. So make sure to subscribe to that. And if you had questions for me that I couldn't answer in today's video, subscribe, bell notification on, and put any questions in the live chat tomorrow's video. I promise I will try and answer them. Tomorrow's video is going to be really interactive, talking with you guys, but also updating you on transfer news. So make sure to subscribe. There'll be a Man United Southampton live preview this week, probably on Friday, and on Sunday I watched on for Manchester United versus Southampton. So lots and lots coming up on the channel. Thanks everyone for tuning into today's live stream. Link to all my social medias in the description. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. Let's go for 200 likes now. If you're watching, you haven't, smash that like button. Over 100 watching. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks to everyone.